Welcome to World News Today. Today's story comes from The Guardian. France's President Emmanuel Macron said on Monday he refused to rule out sending ground troops to Ukraine, but said no consensus existed on the step at a meeting of 20 mainly European leaders in Paris, convened by Macron to ramp up the European response to the Russian military advances inside Ukraine. Protecting France's strategic ambiguity, he said, there is no consensus to officially back any ground troops. That said, nothing should be excluded. We will do everything that we can to make sure that Russia does not prevail. He pointed out that past shibboleths, such as sending long-range missiles and planes, had been cast aside, adding, "People used to say, give them just sleeping bags and helmets." He said, "We must do whatever we can to obtain our objective." It is the first time there has been such open discussion of nation-states collectively looking at providing troops to support the depleted Ukrainian military manpower. Speaking at the end of the meeting, Macron warned, "There is a change in Russia's stance. It is striving to take on further territory, and it has its eyes not just on Ukraine, but on many other countries as well. So Russia is presenting a greater danger." Among those present at the meeting were the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, the UK Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron, the Polish President Andrzej Duda, and the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. Relatively junior officials attended from the US and Canada. French officials have become worried there has been no single galvanizing Western force responding to Vladimir Putin, putting his economy on such an effective war footing, and insufficiently clear practical responses had emerged from the West. He said the meeting, called in haste by Macron in the wake of the Ukrainian front lines starting to crumble, had agreed to focus on 5 key action areas: cyber defense, joint production of military weapons and ammunition in Ukraine, defense of countries directly threatened by Russian offensives such as Moldova, greater military protection for Ukraine on its border with Russian-backed Belarus, and the demining of Ukraine. He also announced a new coalition to provide long- and medium-range strike missile capability. Insisting Russia's defeat is absolutely essential for peace and security in Europe, he said it was necessary for Europe to move from words into action, so clear decisions are made to build a European defense pillar independent of America. Asked about the possibility of continuing to support Ukraine in the context of the US presidential elections this November, he said, "We cannot wait for the outcome of the American elections to decide what our future is going to be. It is the future of Europe that is at stake, so therefore it is up to the Europeans to decide. If others want to join in and help, fantastic, but that is just an added bonus." He said this was necessary not because Europe was pessimistic, defiant, or fearful, but simply because it is Europe's future at stake. Russia, he said, cannot win this war. It is the sole aggressor. It is the sole country that instigated this war. Russia is now clearly affecting our own safety and security through both traditional and hybrid war. But he added, "We are not at war with the Russian people." At present, 30% of all funding for Ukraine came from Europe, Macron said, but added that it was possible to increase this through further bilateral and EU-level agreements so that ammunition supplies could be increased threefold overall. Thanks for watching this video. The sources can be found in the description below. Subscribe for more daily news from across the world.